Hi, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing the A to Z book tag. This was originally a blog post and I'll leave a link to the original post down below so you can check it out if you want to. So there are obviously 26 questions, so I'm just going to jump straight into the questions. A is author that you've read the most books from, and that is Linwood Barclay. He's a crime writer. And I think I've read about 10 of his books. These are really good. I've really enjoyed these. They're not like super deep or anything like that, but they're really enjoyable. B is best sequel ever, and for that one I'm going to go with A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I read this recently, still obsessed by it. Yeah, I've read lots of sequels, but this one just sort of jumped out at me, so I'll go with that one. C is currently reading, and amongst other things I'm reading The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Really enjoying it so far. D is drink of choice while reading, and I like myself a good cup of tea. In my Minnie Mouse mug, of course. E is e-reader or physical book. Physical book every single time. I do have an e-reader and I always have a ebook on the go, but yeah, I just like me a physical book. F is fictional character you probably would have dated in high school. This is a bit of a weird one, but bear with me. I'm going to go with Neville Longbottom from the Harry Potter series. He's not a heartthrob or anything like that, but he turns out to be a really brave, heroic character. Yeah, and growing up I was one of the geeky kids, so I was never going to be dating one of the high school jocks or whatever. So yeah, Neville's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. G is glad you gave this book a chance, and for that one I'm going with Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. This sat on my shelf for a couple of years before I finally picked it up at the beginning of this year, and I'm so glad I did. It was absolutely fantastic. Cannot believe I hadn't picked it up earlier. Yeah, fab read. H is hidden gem book, and for that one I'm going with Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys. I'll talk about Ruta Sepetys a lot on my channel. I've picked this particular one because I think out of the 3 books that she's written so far, this is the one that is least talked about, certainly on BookTube anyway, and it is absolutely fantastic. I is important moment in your book life, and I'm going to say when I first read the Harry Potter series, I think it kind of sparked my love of reading again as an adult, even though this is not classed as an adult series. It was just such a phenomenon and still is, and yeah, it just kind of got me back into reading seriously again. I think I've always been a reader, but I think this kind of sparked a kind of an obsession again, I suppose. J is just finished, and I recently finished Homegrown by Yard Jessie. K is kinds of books that you won't read, and I don't think there are any books that I won't read without even having considered them, but there are certain genres that I don't really reach for an awful lot of the time, horror being one of them. I'm not a massive horror film fan either. I don't know, I don't think books would scare you as much as a film would. Maybe they would, I don't know, I've really gravitated towards that genre. I'm not a massive sci-fi reader. I have read some sci-fi, but I don't tend to gravitate towards that genre. But yeah, there aren't any books that I won't read, just yeah, ones that I'm not as keen on perhaps. L is longest book you've read, and that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I've read this a couple of summers ago now. This is 800 odd pages. It's a brick of a book, but I really enjoyed it. I've not read anything else by Donna Tartt before, but it certainly kind of piqued my interest to pick something else up by her. Yeah, it was good. M is major book hangover. I don't tend to get book hangovers very often, but there are obviously books that I think about for quite a while afterwards, and I'm going to repeat an answer here, but that again is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I just finished this and was so excited for the 3rd book and just couldn't wait for it. I still can't wait for it, and it's coming out in May I believe, and I can't wait to pick it up, and yeah, it was brilliant. N is number of bookcases you own, and I have 2 behind me and then I have 1 downstairs, so 3 in total. O is one book you've read multiple times. I'm not a massive rereader, but one book that I've read over and over again as a child is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Yeah, this is about a little girl who moves in with her uncle, and she discovers this garden, and you know, people have neglected it for a while, and she kind of brings the garden back to life. And I just, yeah, remember being absolutely enchanted by the story as a child and reading it over and over again. Yeah, brings back good memories. P is preferred place to read, and I'm going to say in bed, just where I'm most comfortable. Q is quote that inspires you, and the one that inspires me, and I've actually got a kind of a picture of it up on and in our hallway in a frame, and that is whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. And that's a quote from Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and it just, yeah, really reminds me of myself and my husband. Bit mushy, but there we go. R is reading regret. I don't really have any real sort of regrets, but yeah, one that I wrote down is not having read all of the books. I've kind of had this obsession for quite a few years now with, oh my god, I'm never going to get around to reading all of the books that I want to read. And I suppose that's a good thing, because you're excited about things and you're, you know, anticipating, and you're loving reading and what you're doing. Yeah, but so it's not really a regret, I suppose, but that's what I'm going to go for that answer. S is series that you started and need to finish, where all of the books are already out. And I do have quite a few of these. I'm not a massive series reader actually, but I do have quite a few unfinished series on my shelf. But the one I'm going to go with is the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder at some point last year and really liked it, and I have Scarlet on my shelf, but I just haven't got around to kind of reading the second book and then picking up the other ones. So yeah, I will at some point. T is 3 of your all-time favourite books, and this is quite hard to choose because I have lots of favourites. But whenever anybody asks me what's your favourite book, I always say What a Carve Up by Jonathan Coe. And then I've also got here Room by Emma Donoghue, and of course Between Shades of Grey by Rita Sepetys. U is Unapologetic Fangirl For, and I wouldn't curse myself as like a massive fangirl for anything, but I'm a proper Potterhead. So yeah, I'm going to say Harry Potter again. I just love the Harry Potter world. I will read anything that Rowling puts out. Yeah, and I can't wait to get tickets to see the play as well. V is very excited for this release more than any other coming up, and I'm going to go with A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. Who knew? W is worst bookish habit, and for this one I'm going to go with the fact that I buy books and then I don't read them for ages. So I have a number of books on my shelf that have probably been sitting there, some of them for 3 or 4 years, maybe even more than that, and I still haven't got around to reading them. So I buy books and I'm really, really excited about them, and then I've got so much on my shelf to read. If you follow me on Goodreads, for example, you'll know that there are over 200 books on my TBR. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. You know, some people kind of like to get their TBRs down and things, but yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that I've got a massive TBR, but yeah, it does irritate me a little bit, yeah, when I buy books and then, you know, I don't read them for months. And X marks the spot. Start on the top left of your shelf and count 27 books along. And that was the Davinci Code by Dan Brown. I was absolutely obsessed by this book when I first read it, and I remember saying to my mum, you've got to read this so I can talk to you about it. Yeah, it was a great read. So I remember that I had an essay due for university at the time, and yeah, rather than write the essay I read this. So, but it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've read all of Dan Brown's books. Y is your latest book purchase, and I can't really remember dates of when I've purchased things in March, and I haven't purchased anything since I did my book haul in March, so I'm going to go with We Shall Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And finally, Z is Z Snatcher, so a book that kept you up way late. And for that one I'm going to go with The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I think I mentioned this in my review video that I did a couple of weeks ago, but when it came to reading the end of this, my husband was asleep next to me, and I cried a few times, and I was trying really hard not to cry too loudly because I didn't want to wake him up, but I just couldn't put it down. It was absolutely fantastic. So there you go, that was the A to Z books tag. I'm going to tag Krista from Books and Jams. I don't know whether you've done this before, but if you haven't, I'd love to see your answers for it, and then anybody else who wants to do it. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.